The last two in-between era decks that I have. They're not quite the new style, the post-reset cards, because they include a lot of the legacy cards, but they also include a lot of the post-reset cards. So made quite a few videos about these decks that I still have made. A lot of them I'm too fond of to take apart or update, and some of them can't really be updated. But Lone Aliens is the theme with this one, and then Communing, which probably by the time this video I post it, Communing will kind of have been resurrected in the game, so I'll set that one aside for now and go with the Lone Aliens one. The idea here was to spread out aliens to as many battleground sites as I can, or battlegrounds in general that I can with high ability, get out lots of sites, and then just try to do a lot of damage to the opponent in battles. So unique weapons, some Tatooine occupation, a little bit of retrieval with Erica and her lightsaber. But yeah, she's got ability 5, so she draws on her own. Aurra Singh's got ability 5 or 4 and draws on her own. Jasper does 2, draws on his own, and this is actually his matching weapon. And it deploys and fires free on him. They're in here for support, some pretty good power. And then, not sure how good of an idea it was, but trying to get cards like Lone Warrior and Moment of Triumph and even Lone Pilot in the deck, so when people are defending alone, adding Battle Destiny. So if an alien's defending a battle alone, add a Battle Destiny. So if I have both of these, I'm adding 2 Battle Destinies. Of course, they're lost interrupts, which is kind of a bummer. If that happens to be Aurra Singh, I can add another one, or if it's a Boba Fett, I can add 2. Bossk or Greedo, 2, but I guess that would work. Greedo sitting there by himself, and you can add 4 Battle Destinies with Lone Warrior, Moment of Triumph, Rest Luck Ralph, and oh yeah, I guess that would be it. And then Lone Pilot in space. I have a couple pilots in here that would take care of that. But 4-Lom and Dengar and Boba are in here, along with Slave 1. Zuckuss, Bossk and Houndstooth. Masterful move to get Gix into hand, because you never know when you're going to get blown out and your Battle Destiny strategy doesn't work, which actually might be quite often. And then Holotable to get that extra activation. I guess this has been shielded since then, but trying to take advantage of the opponent's force. So now I don't know if I'll ever update these decks, since it's kind of a style that my friend and I don't play anymore, but these probably would be 4 cards to take out. And this is in here. I definitely built this deck before we really got into using shields, because this card is also shielded. Must have really wanted to make them pay for drains with Projective Telepathy, and then Sith Fear to take characters into hand. So looking back on this deck, it does look pretty lackluster, but I did at least like the idea of spreading out to sites and drawing a bunch of Battle Destinies, and who knows, maybe even doing battle damage to the opponent when they initiate against you, although they'd catch on pretty quick to what the strategy was. Okay, so this one is a Communing deck. The idea here was for me to get 2 Jedi on here, which allows me to basically trade cards between my reserve deck, force pile, and used pile, so really a lot of deck manipulation. Starting out with this Jedi on Communing just to have one on there. And being able to deploy battlegrounds and getting cards into hand, getting the farm out. And here's the key interrupt of the deck, so depending on how many Jedi I have on Communing, I can do all these different things. So peek at the top card of any deck or pile and then shuffling, draw 2 cards from my reserve deck, retrieve 1 force, activate X force, or add X to my next Destiny draw. And if I got 3 Jedi stacked on there, I can do 3 of those things. And so here's the kind of the gimmick of the deck. Jedi Pilot. So it's an ability 6, so it is a Jedi. Put that on a speeder bike. Speeder bike makes it power 0. So Jedi Pilot's power 0. And then this card here, what it does, it attaches to the Jedi Pilot, and it says eaten if power equals 0. So then I get to immediately put the Jedi Pilot out of play and put him on Communing, so then I have the 2 cards on there to let me start doing all my tricks. So I think I only pulled that off once, but it was pretty funny when it happened. And trying to win battles and forcing my opponent to steal. This is all about stealing cards from the opponent once I get those things going on. So Tatooine Celebration, a couple of effects. Stone Pile. I think when we started playing with shields, I only put one Stone Pile in here, but basically being able to steal 2 cards from your opponent's hand, they might not realize it's happening, can really mess with their day depending on what 2 cards they are, and it's kind of hard to cancel Stone Pile. The Signal to help me get out interrupts, and then just a lot of EPP characters to try to win battles. This is a Luke that's since been blanked. They've kind of absorbed his text into Luke Skywalker Rebel Scout, and this is a custom image I slapped on there. But lots of Jedi in the deck, and some good support characters too that can either fire weapons or add battle destinies. Permanent pilot ships, and trying to get out the Jedi Council Chamber, and I guess I have a lot of Jedi in this deck, so also trying to do a lot of used pile pulls and see what I can wrangle together. Pulling a lot of cards from the deck, doing a lot of battling is the idea. I can activate a lot of force. The destinies seem pretty low going through it, but a lot of useful interrupts that can help me in battle or help me pull cards out of my deck. And that's an actual copy of Let the Wookiee Win, not a... I guess I have 2 of them. Huh. That's a decently valuable card. I might want to take those out. Anyways, it's amazing what you find when you look through decks you haven't looked through in almost a couple years. But that's kind of the idea of Communing. Not really sure how competitive it would be in that format if that format were played by more people, but killing off Jedi pilots by having them being attacked by snakes while on a speeder bike, that wasn't my idea. I read that somewhere, but it was just as fun to pull it off against my friend and just kind of get the Communing shenanigans going even faster than either of us might have anticipated otherwise. So, pretty neat deck that I would like to play again sometime, but I'll probably just play the more modern, updated version of Communing. Anyways, this is the last deck review video that I'll be doing for a while. Maybe I'll go over some of the decks that I've made for the modern era if I have time, but I have a lot of sealed product videos that I want to do too. So lots of videos coming down the wire. Hope you subscribe and be able to look back on old videos, some that maybe you haven't seen, and definitely stay tuned for future videos. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this series, and I hope you keep watching all sorts of content that I put up on here. Thanks.